Hi, everyone. I'm just going to take a few minutes here and discuss the Unit 4 assignment. This assignment is a Child Development Center brochure. Okay, so what you're going to do, carefully read the directions and the scoring guide. Both will help you guide you in how to do this assignment. You can use a template, or you can write your brochure any way you want to. Make it easy for yourself. We're not in a design class, so the design isn't that important, but make sure it looks nice and you use nice font. Maybe a couple of photos will do the trick. And you will design the brochure for an audience of parents with young children. So this is for young children. It's not for adolescents or adults. It's for young children. And choose the service. You only have to have one service. There's a listing of a whole bunch of services in the template, but you don't have to do all those services, except for one exception. You're going to be differentiating one of the services from another, or disciplines of psychology from another. Okay. And we'll talk about that in a second when we get to the scoring guide, but that's something to remember. So a service, for one type of service. Okay. And describe the benefits of the service. Use scholarly research. That means going into the Capella Library, finding some research on whatever it is that you're doing your service on, and including that within your brochure. And don't forget to do in-text citations. You can still do in-text citations even though this is a brochure. Okay. And then let me see, connect your services to a psychological theory or perspective. Choose one of those theories or perspectives. You can find that in your textbook. And usually it's okay to do one of the major theories: behavioral theory, cognitive theory, humanistic theory. One of those major theories, that's good. Okay. And we'll be discussing that again when we get to the scoring guide, but that's an important part to include, is the theory. Okay. And then another important part is applying the APA Code of Ethics. There's a link there in the instructions to the Code of Ethics, and it tells you what to include information from. So take a look at that, and then look at those sections of the APA Code of Ethics, and include information about the confidentiality and the advertising and therapy sections, or therapy information that you find in the APA ethics. Okay. Um, and let's take a look here. That's the overview of it. Okay. So this is a brochure. I want to make sure that you include everything that you should, because that's how you're going to earn the best grade, is to include everything. Let's take a look really quick. Boy, if I can find where I put it on my desktop. Let's take a quick look out. Here it is, at the scoring guide. Look at the scoring guide. Scoring guides are your friend. Use your scoring guides whenever you're doing your assessments and assignments, because everything that's in the scoring guide is what I'm going to be grading you on. Okay. So be mindful of that. So the first criteria: write for the specific audience of parents with young children. So it's not adolescents, it's not adults. This is for parents of young children. Differentiate the discipline of psychology from other disciplines. That differentiates means to talk about the differences and compare the two. And I'm not looking for you just to write about, number one, this discipline, number two, this discipline. No, I want you to go the extra step and differentiate them. What's different about those two? This field has this and includes this education, and it has this, and this field, on the other hand, has this and that and the other thing. And they're different in that way. Okay. So differentiate them. Psychology from other disciplines. So you might do a child psychologist from a pediatric nurse, for instance. Okay. So you want to actually say what the differences are. I'm not looking for you just to define each discipline, but I want you to go the next step and differentiate those two disciplines. And then describe key characteristics of a cognitive, biological, or sociocultural services. So what kind of service is this? And describe those key characteristics within that service. Okay. Describe the value and limitations of a psychological theory related to development, so lifespan development. So not only will you describe whatever theory that you're using, you're also going to say the value and limitations of that theory. You can find that information in your Burke textbook. So look there. Lots of great information about the theories in your Burke textbook. Support claims with scholarly sources. Use your scholarly sources. You can find those in the library. Capella has an excellent library with a lot of resources. It's a doctoral learner library, so that means there's even more sources than a regular library. So take advantage of that and use those sources and apply the APA Code of Ethics. Of course, we talked about that. Organize information. You want it to be neat and readable, but remember, you still need to include all of this information. If you go into a second page, that's fine. You also need to include in-text cites and references, okay? And use those in APA style. I know that sometimes, like the hanging indent isn't going to work, in all forms of brochures, but make sure you have the references there, and preferable to use those references from the Capella library rather than internet sources. Okay, so take a look at that. Those are the criteria I will be grading you on, and especially look at the distinguish, and follow that and include all of those parts in your brochure. And you might even take the liberty of making headings based on those criteria. And that'll help you to keep organized and make sure that you include everything. Okay. This assignment will be due on Sunday night, so you can submit it anytime now when you're finished that you want to. So let me know if you have any questions. You can send me an email, or you can also text message me too. So I hope this will help you perform better on this and give you a little bit more peace of mind. Some learners find that this brochure is kind of intimidating, but don't let it intimidate you. If you're unfamiliar with design or making brochures, use a Word doc and make it look nice and put some colored font in there. You'll do just fine, and make sure you include everything on the scoring guide, and you should do just fine. Thanks a lot for listening, and have a great one. Bye-bye.